Please welcome Beth Comstock.
What a treat to be here with all of you. I have to tell you this, Linda Boff is amazing. I wish I had more time to tell you all the ways she's amazing, but I don't. But I must tell you this, Linda is the nicest person you'll ever meet. That she is creative, smart, and a great leader is all the more impressive when you consider that she is nice. I mean really nice. She's really nice. She is superpower nice. But because of this, I think there are some things you have to know that Linda can never, ever do. So I'm going to name a few of them. First of all, Linda can't gossip. Some of you may have seen the pillow that reads, "If you don't have anything nice to say, sit next to me." Sometimes Linda has to sit alone. She doesn't have a harsh word to say about anybody. Linda can't roast anyone. She can't do it, so just don't ask her. Recently, she joined other luminaries in roasting a past Matrix honoree, Wenda Millard. I think Wenda's here. Wenda said after the roast, she said, "Linda was so nice, so kind. She delivered a gentle stir fry." So when it comes to a roast, Linda's toast. It just doesn't work. The last thing you need to know is that Linda won't take the bait when you want to pick a fight. And trust me, I've tried for about 15 years. Don't get me wrong, she fights all the time for great people and great ideas. Amazingly, she does it in a way that leaves people feeling better, not battered. Being nice is her competitive advantage. It's her 1-2 punch. I sometimes think Ronda Rousey could learn from Linda Boff. The ad team at BBDO, where we've had a great partnership over the years, they call Linda the smiling assassin. Think of that when you hear her talk. They basically give each other a high five every time they meet with her, even when she's killed every idea they ever presented. And the reason is that because feedback from Linda, even when it's a no, is some of the most helpful feedback you'll ever get. So look, in a world that needs more amazing people who are also really kind, Linda leads the way. She's amazingly talented, and she's amazingly nice. And that's why so many of us are so proud and honored to call her not only our colleague, but our friend. May I present Linda Boff.
What do you say to that? So a lot of people in the audience know Beth. They know her as the perhaps first vice chair ever who's a woman at GE. A remarkable, remarkable accomplishment. Remarkable. I know her as a terrific leader, a wonderful boss, somebody I've had the pleasure of working with for a decade and a half. But I have to say, you know, I think most people don't realize just how unbelievably humble and lovely Beth is. And I have to just tell, like, quickest little thing. So when I asked Beth to induct me today, which was such an honor for me, in typical fashion, Beth asked me, couldn't I find somebody better? And Beth, there is nobody better. I'm so honored that you inducted me today, so thank you. It's funny, I don't like things that match. I just don't have the constitution for it. My husband, on the other hand, would buy the same chair for every house in the room, and they would all recline. It's kind of a wonder we've lasted this long. When I look back on the different kinds of work I've done, there's kind of a pattern of unpatternedness to it. I've been in so many different industries. You heard a few of them. Museums, financial services, magazines. Once upon a time, I was actually a radio disc jockey, even an IndyCar promoter. Well, some people get a pit in their stomach when stuff is unfamiliar. I get that same pit, but it's when everything is too predictable, too much the same. And somehow, I've kind of made a career out of making up what happens next. And the fact that I get to do this at a company founded by a guy who specialized in making it up, that would be Thomas Edison, who famously said when someone reminded him that he'd failed 10,000 times when he was trying to invent the light bulb, he said, "I didn't fail." Other in the video who's here today. And he gave me his take on the world when I was quite young. He said, "Follow your heart and not your head." And this really worked for him, because at age 6, he knew he wanted to be a doctor. And at age 81, he's still practicing what he loves. It's remarkable. So I can promise you, at age 6, I had no idea what a CMO was, but I knew that I loved the new, and I hated monotony. And over the years, I've learned that you can use your head to find your heart. Last week, I had a tremendous experience. I got to meet Hamilton's spectacular Lin-Manuel Miranda, who said that he, quote, falls in love for a living. Well, that's kind of what I get to do every day at GE. I work for a company that reinvents itself simply because that's what you have to do when you're a 124-year-old startup. In my case, I began my marketing career when there was a completely different set of media channels. And 20 years in, everything changed. Challenger mindset helps me and helps GE act like a startup every single day. More like a company that belongs on the NASDAQ than on the Dow Jones. So contrary to what Beth said, you hate to sort of, disagree with your boss in front of all these witnesses. I'm not always nice. But what I am, I think, is ridiculously optimistic. I really trust that the next person I meet, a new company that I've never heard of, an idea that might seem outrageous at first, is going to take me and GE to new places that we've never been. So as one of my favorite authors, the great Dr. Seuss, said, if things start happening, don't worry, don't stew, just go right along and you'll start happening too. So today is a day about inspiration, so I'd like to close by sharing what inspires me. First, taking the passionate, not the practical step forward. People who love saying yes. All of us, and particularly the amazing women on this stage, who are confidently making up what comes next. My 2 thoroughly amazing children, Nellie and Toby, who are here today, who are both kind and fearless. And finally, my husband, Regis, who literally chucked a career with The Who to make sure the kids and I turned out all right. So thank you all so much. Today really means the world to me.